Okay guys, so this is my second Indian haul. I went back to the Indian grocery store and I got actually a lot more things. So first things first, not too interesting, but I got this gigantic jar of ginger paste and it's 24 flow ounces. And the reason that I got this is because of even, with my handy dandy ginger grater from my Japanese haul, I hate grating ginger. Like, I hate that I have to, kind of first peel it off with a spoon, then I have to like roll it around, then, you kind of do it for a while, but you don't get like a lot of ginger paste and it just takes forever, and there's so many fibers and there's like so many little things. Sometimes I resorted to actually just kind of peeling the entire ginger root, sticking it into a blender and then pureeing it and then kind of putting them in ice cubes, and I found that that was a good way for it. But if you didn't want to do that, just like, how they have like jars of garlic, they also have jars of ginger paste, and it makes it a lot easier if you're doing a lot of Indian cooking because so much of it requires kind of ground ginger or ground garlic, and if you don't have one of those spice blenders that Indian kitchens usually have, it makes it very difficult to blend or puree a small amount very well, because Indian style blenders are definitely for like spices or of smaller amounts, so everything's smaller so everything blends better. But if you were just to say try to blend just like a 1-inch piece of ginger, you're not really going to get anywhere. So I decided to get this as a way to cheat. The only thing is that usually they do add a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of acid, and sometimes there's preservatives in here as well, so that's kind of my only reservation. But in a pinch, if you do need a lot of grated ginger and you just so happen to be lazy, they have this, they have ginger, they have actually a ginger garlic paste mix as well, which makes it super convenient, because usually when they call for ginger, usually they do call for some garlic paste as well. So there's that. I got some Rosewater. So Rosewater is one of those things where you can use it definitely in drinks as well. You can use it in my chickpea cookies recipe. You can use it in like soaps, or like if you like making like facial spritzes yourself, that's something cool to add to it. And Rosewater sometimes I find is a little bit hard to find in a normal grocery store, and when you do find it, it turns out to be really expensive. And I think I just got this one for a couple of dollars. A little goes a really long way because it has a tendency to smell like soap and perfume, so a little bit goes a long way. So once you buy this bottle, you're pretty much set for probably the next couple of years. So there's Rosewater right there. Let's see, what else did I get next? So I've been trying to look around for vegan ramen as usual, and it's just super hard to find. So I actually found this. It's Singaporean curry style ramen that they happen to be selling at the Indian grocery store. I'm guessing Singapore does have a lot of Indian influences in it as well. So I actually tried this. It is really jam-packed with flavor and it's really good. Obviously it's not crazy healthy, but it's cool to kind of try out different flavors that just so happen to be vegan and does not contain any animal products to that. So there's that. Following that, let's see what I got. In the dry goods section, I mean, there are so many types of like different lentils and different beans in the Indian grocery market, because they do have, a lot of this lentil. And they call it dal, but it's a good place to kind of look for, if you happen to be somebody who is into beans and lentils and legumes, it's definitely a good place to kind of check like all of the different types that there are. I'm not particularly a big bean fan, but I do love a lot of the Indian dishes that, that uses this. Oh, okay, so I found this. So, instead of playing around with like tofu and tempeh and all of that jazz, I found these soy chunks. They're dried. They kind of look a little bit like rabbit food. That's totally okay. And what you do is you just rehydrate them and definitely cook them in some sauces and spices. And I think when I tried the tikka masala at Trader Joe's, they kind of used something that was very similar to this. It was like a little bit spongy, a little bit meaty as well. And I thought that, for any of the Indian dishes where I might be needing meat, this would actually be a really good substitute and, have plenty of fiber and also some plant-based protein in it as well. And because it is so spongy, I think it'll definitely soak up a lot of like flavors and spices and sauces really well. And it was only $2.49 for a 7-ounce, so like probably like a half-pound bag. So it's a pretty nice size. Once it's rehydrated, you're definitely gonna get your money's worth here. 15 grams of protein for a cup of this, so definitely not bad, and I definitely want to be trying this in more of my recipes as well. Okay, so last chew. So this is, I'm not going to be able to pronounce it as well, but it's Punjabi masala and it's the special papad. So these are kind of like the crispy, kind of chip-like fried pancakes that they will have, and this one happens to be flavored with black pepper and then asafoetida, which is that like really cool, I told you guys last time, it's kind of like a resin, but it smells like roasted garlic and onions, and it's just like all smushed into this like one little jar. So these guys you just really fry up and then, you know, pair it with some chutney or, you know, whatever you want to be eating it with. But they also sell these in like really small bits so that you can just fry them up as chips. And I love going into the Indian grocery store to look at like the different types of breads they have, because last time I told you about like the steamed breads and the steamed cakes, but there's also a ton of different things that you can like fry up, and then there's naan, and then there's dosa. It's just very cool and also really fun to try out. So there's that, and then my last thing is this chicken biryani. Again, I don't eat chicken because I'm vegan, but like I had mentioned last time, if you watched my first haul, I think I got a box of, I think it was buttered chicken. And what's good about this is I was saying that if you are kind of newer to Indian cooking, or even if you're not, a lot of their recipes require like a ton of spices. And at the Indian grocery store, there are a lot of these like pre-packaged mixes. Sometimes they're seasoning blends and seasoning mixes that you can add to chicken. Sometimes they're, you know, like kind of like different pancake batters that there's a ton of seasonings in that. But it's a great way to be able to try an Indian dish without having to commit and, you know, spend a ton of money to buy all of the spices. So, you know, in the biryani recipe, there's roasted peanuts, Himalayan salt, chili, paprika, nigella seeds, star anise, cumin, cardamom, black pepper, black cardamom, black cumin, cloves. I mean, the list really goes on. And so if you are, you know, craving chicken biryani in any way, and you kind of look up a recipe and you're like, whoa, like it's completely intimidating to be purchasing that many different types of, you know, spices and whatnot, this is a good way of just getting started or just making a recipe without having to commit. And I think that this was, what, like $1.29, and they had a ton of other different types of meals and recipes there as well. So you can get a spice blend for basically whatever you're looking for without having to commit too much. And I think it's really cool and nice to be able to purchase that. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed my second Indian grocery haul. I always really enjoy going in there because you guys know I do a ton of research kind of before and then afterwards, because I always find something like new that I had never seen before, or like, what do I use this for? And I love going in there. If you guys, again, have any recommendations on foods that I should try or ingredients I should try, definitely write that down in the comments below. And yeah, thank you, and I will see you guys again next time. Bye!